Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Lionhe Zhaobao, the British government has unveiled a major defense investment plan, allocating $5 billion over Noormans Zoweer, Drobrechtid, the salt mons that Paris Shab din use, Revisence, and Aosaminis combat systems. This initiative, described by outgoing Prime Minister Keir Starmer as a transformative investment to strengthen the armed forces, represents the largest drone-focused funding program in the military's history. Under the plan, the Royal Navy will transition into a hybrid force combining autonomous vessels, artificial intelligence, and traditional assets. Meanwhile, the Army will receive funding for unmanned vehicles, and the Royal Air Force will deploy autonomous combat aircraft. Despite its ambitious scope, the plan has drawn criticism. The Conservative Party labeled the delayed plan as too late and too little, while the Liberal Democrats argued it underestimates the military's needs. Furthermore, military officials highlighted a £28 billion gap in the defense budget over the next 4 years, casting uncertainty over how this gap will be addressed. According to Al Jazeera, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, has reported 1,307 confirmed cases of Ebola, including 377 deaths in its latest outbreak. Initially active in the Ituri, North Kivu, and South Kivu provinces, the viral hemorrhagic fever has now spread to a fourth province, Haut-Tuwel, which borders South Sudan and the Central African Republic. The expansion means the DRC's entire northeast region, home to roughly 15 million people, is now affected. Ituri remains the epicenter of the 17th Ebola outbreak, which began in May. Health officials state that the virus frequently spreads during traditional funerals where highly infectious bodies are handled. Aid workers are facing significant challenges, including local community mistrust and insufficient resources. Treatment centers have been targeted by hostile mobs, and medical staff are facing critical shortages of protective gear, rapid test kits, and body bags. In response to the crisis, the government banned public gatherings in 4 provinces. However, opposition figures have criticized the ban as politically motivated, noting it was declared shortly before a major planned protest in Kinshasa. According to a report from the Liberty Times, 2 North Korean soldiers who were captured by Ukrainian forces while fighting for Russia in Kursk last January have refused to be repatriated. The soldiers expressed deep fear of execution or severe punishment if returned to North Korea, with one individual telling South Korea's MBC television that he would surely die if he were sent back. South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Tae-yul and his Ukrainian counterpart, Andriy Sybiha, held talks in Seoul to discuss the fate of these prisoners. Both nations have agreed to handle the matter in accordance with international law and humanitarian principles. South Korea is actively seeking to arrange for the transfer of these individuals to its territory, emphasizing a commitment to diplomatic efforts and humanitarian values. Sybiha confirmed via X that the 2 ministers held a detailed discussion on the issue. According to a report by Yonhap News Agency, South Korea has been allocated a tariff-free steel export quota of 2.07 million tons under the European Union's EU new safeguard measures, which are scheduled to take effect on Wednesday. This figure represents an approximately 20% decrease from the previous quota of 2.58 million tons allocated from July 2025 to June of this year. The South Korean Ministry of Trade, Industry and Resources highlighted that while South Korea's quota was reduced, its 19.7% cut is significantly smaller than the EU's overall global tariff-free quota reduction, which will slash the total quota by 46% from 33.82 million tons to 18.35 million tons. The new EU measures will sharply reduce tariff-free quotas on 30 steel products and impose a 50% tariff on imports exceeding these levels. South Korea also retains access to an additional 1.47 million tons of shared quota through global competition. Trade Minister Yohan Koo emphasized that the government has utilized all available channels to support local steelmakers and will continue proactive efforts to ensure stable market access. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.